Like you said, Michael Jordan pull up to that house. You better go over there with him, and you better take that. Man, my grandpa say everything.
Yeah, man.
My grandma say, "Quick, I don't need white sports, but I know Michael Jordan. You need to do it." You know what I'm saying? So,
I don't know nothing about recruitment or whatever, but I went through it, in college.
right.
And it's rare that you see a head coach, period, or whatever. Like he might come somewhere, but if a head coach comes, it's serious. Like he really wants you or whatever.
Gonna show you how it happens.
Right,
But when tough things get tough, when things become turmoil, when things become distraught, that's when the real love and the real fight of a marriage happens. When you are going through the worst. Not when you're happy, but when you go through the worst. Can you still stay there? Can you still stand? And some people say, I try. Everybody's try is different. Some people may try 20 times. Some people may try 100 times. Some people may try 200 times. Like, your try is different. Welcome to another edition of From My Minds. I'm your host, Brian Jones and Melo. And Melo Arrington, we're the host. We don't have the big three. We have the dynamic duo right now. And that's Melo and Prime. Deion Sanders, don't hold that to me. I hope you hear it. Maybe you'll give me a chance to meet you. It might be my only way to meet you is talking like this. But that raw mind, raw thoughts. So how you feel today, man?
Hey, man, it's a good day, man. Great day to be a Tar Heel.
A great day to be a Tar Heel.
Great day to be a Tar Heel.
A great day to be a Tar Heel. That's why I got on all blue. Because I'm a Duke guy. And I'm a Duke fan.
Okay.
And no matter what has happened, the recent events of yesterday, today is a new day. And Duke is ready. But go ahead, what you got to feel about this Duke game and stuff.
I like our chances, man. We've been playing better over the last couple of weeks. Everybody talking about we really hadn't played nobody, but I think them games at the beginning of the year helped us out. I think we starting to click now. I think regardless of whether we win or not today, we in the NCAA tournament, I think. So.
You think?
Oh, yeah.
You think so?
No doubt. I think we're in there now. We in there.
So, for me, I say y'all have been getting the click. One time, your coach was on the hot seat. Mm-hmm. Now, they got a GM. I don't know how this tournament will make it still. He just did get an extension. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he got an extension. We know why he was on the hot seat, but that's raw thoughts. We'll do it.
So, for me, man, who's your player of the game?
Robert Davis Jr.
RJ
Davis, that is.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you see his shirt, Melo Arrington shirt, Michael Jackson. I feel like John Knuckle is going to be doing a lot of Michael Jackson tonight. We're going to be dancing. And I'm going to tell you now, this kid is special for me. You know what I'm saying? I like him. Even though Cooper Flag is out, situation happened. This team of Duke, what people say, a lot of Duke fans have already checked out. I know when I still check in. Until the clock say 0-0-0, or as Cinderella say, the clock strike 12, I'm not giving up on this. So, like, if this team can win the ACC tournament without Cooper Flag, the NCAA tournament March Madness better be scared. Because this team is locked in, they're gelling well at the right time. But, for UNC, I feel like this is a must win for y'all. Although you say you in the ACC tournament. I mean, the NCAA tournament. So this is a must win. Like beating Duke is a must win. I mean, for the tournament, it's a must win because we just don't know. You know how the judges are in the NCAA tournament. You know how the committee stands. Like they say anybody in before you know it, we all be fussing Monday.
Yep.
Why this team ain't make it? Why that team ain't make it?
That's right. I think we're good though. I think we're good. I think we've been doing enough lately to make it. And like I said, we'll be competitive in the tournament. We might win. We might get a game in the tournament or two. Might make a run all the way. You never know.
So how you feel?
March Madness is.
No doubt. So how you feel about having the GM?
GM good, man. For like I said, NIL purpose. NIL is it's everything now. People ain't just going to college no more because it's Duke is a prestigious university or Carolina or Kentucky, the big schools. Now you see people going to different joints. Alabama, Brigham Young. Brigham Young got the number one recruit in the nation. Like I said, so NIL is big time or whatever. And I was, so I was thinking like, with that, what we talking about, what would it take for you, like, being from Tarboro, like I said, you was good, like say you was one of the top 10 recruits in basketball. What would it take in this era, like NIL, for you, like, if, say, you at the home went to America. When Akeem dad pulled up and he
Yeah.
had like all the motorcycles and the limo, and right there on your front door is Michael Jordan in that limo right there. Would you commit to Carolina? Even because you're a Duke fan, so yeah, it's legit.
So for me, some may say yeah and nay. I'm stubborn to the core in a good way. Like I understand where I want to go and what's needed for me necessarily. Like I know what's needed for me to be successful and like where I need to be grounded at. Then also for me as a child, it'll be in a situation like this tough because I may want to go where I want to go, but my mom and grandma might say, "No, you need to go here because we need this for the family." And I have to think like that. See, if I have the free will to pick my own side, ain't no telling what I do, honestly. Because
Michael
like
Jordan pulls up to your doorstep in Tarboro, and you gonna say no because you a Duke fan?
No. I'm not. No, I'm very unbiased on that. No. I'm not saying no. I would not say. I'm not gonna say no because of that. Because I'm a Duke fan. No. I probably say let me weigh my options. But for me, I'm saying for me,
Jordan.
I know it's Michael Jordan. But you said the NIL, I'm gonna tell you now, raw thoughts from my mind. Michael Jordan pulling up, cool, great. But Michael Jordan might be pulling up just to get me on the team. But my grandma, I know my grandma like a back of my hand. She'll be saying, well, what you gonna do to make sure we good? And my grandma gonna make sure the family good. So, and Michael Jordan may say, I just want him on the team. Michael Jordan ain't offering me no money. He got to come out verbally for me for that. And on top of that, I'm not saying I wouldn't. I'm not saying that couldn't happen. But I also know me as in my situation of a family. Like, if that kind of happens, I'm not really gonna be in a position to make my own decision without backlash. Meaning, like, I may say no. Everybody in the household be over there fussing me out, cussing me out.
Yes, Lord.
I catch it everything right.
Yes, Lord.
So I know I'm like, but that's just not for me. They ain't trying to hear that. Like you said, Michael Jordan pull up to that house. You better go over there with him, and you better take that. Man, my grandpa say everything.
Yeah, man.
My grandma say, "Quick, I don't need white sports, but I know Michael Jordan. You need to do it." You know what I'm saying? So for me, like, Michael Jordan had to do more than just show up to my house. But I guess what you're saying is like, if Michael Jordan showed up to your house, he gonna give you whatever you want.
Yeah,
so now if he doing that, then like, look, made this quick. I might probably.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, like I said, that go along with what we're talking about though with the NIL. Like, I just be looking at it like, Carolina, we had a down year of recruitment last year. Well, not a down year recruitment wise. We got Ian, we got Drake, but it's got to be so easy. Like, all I have to do is make a call to Michael Jordan. He is arguably what everybody say the greatest player of all time.
He got a lot of free time now because he ain't the owner of the Charlottes no more.
That's
Charlotte Hornets.
Saying. So why wouldn't, if I'm trying to get the number one recruit in the country, why wouldn't I say, yo, Mike, pull up at so and so? You know how authentic it'll be for him to pull up at C.J. Ross's house in Swift Creek or whatever. Like, that's,
right. I
Jordan
agree.
Came to see me.
That makes it does matter because like it's a brand. It's like LeBron going to see somebody or Tom Brady. Tom Brady going to see somebody. Like,
so I'm like, yo, these people, you ain't need a general manager for that. You could have,
True.
That's common sense.
Right.
You got a number one player in the nation. How is he gonna feel? Like, I'm just thinking, like, with me, I was, growing up, I always was a UNC fan. I want to go to UNC. I want to go to UNC. But
so Michael Jordan put up your house.
Does
he have to speak?
It would have to be the opposite way because I'm a UNC fan, so it's easy. But
Coach K pulls up to your house. Coach K, from what I hear,
right.
he comes in and closes, but he don't usually pull up to your house
right.
unless it's a big deal. He's needed,
which is along the lines like, all right, like I said, a lot of kids don't know nothing about recruitment or whatever, but I went through it, in college.
Right.
And it's rare that you see a head coach, period, or whatever. Like, he might come somewhere, but if a head coach come, it's serious. Like, he really wants you or whatever. So I say that to say, so if Coach K pulled up, all right, I might be a Duke Blue at that point in life because it just depends. If Carolina come, Carolina going, they win automatically because that's my dream school. But if Coach K come and at that time, what was Roy Williams or think it was Roy Williams.
I seen you. Carolina did win that
Dory.
championship because that Raymond Felton and Sean
Yeah.
Mann.
So if Roy Williams pull up at that point, it's automatic. But like I said, if Coach K pull up and Roy had sent Brad Frederick or somebody, you ain't even really, because really and truthfully, that was part of my decision in going to Westland or whatever. Like, Coach Thompson actually came out himself, and I knew what I was going through. Like, I got letters from different colleges, offers, but it was just different. Like I said, I seen a lot of assistant coaches or whatever. Assistant coaches coming to watch practice. Assistant coaches coming, to have conversations. It won't head coach. So, like I said, and maybe it was kind of an advantage because he was right here, so he was local, so it was easy. But still, it made an impression on me or whatever. So, like I said, I was thinking, that's the easy way to get number one player. That's how we got Harrison Barnes a few years back, Michael Jordan. You're a Michael Jordan fan.
Michael Jordan brand, understand? You got it. So that's the perfect thing in marketing. Like, you got to know what that player, that person likes, and then that's how you approach that situation. So you know how that goes.
That's right. So all right, we did the March Madness. I got another question for you. Something I was reading or whatever.
Oh boy.
So they say off this jump, they say a man knows that he wants to marry who he wants. He knows that he wants to marry you within the first 3 months. How you feel about that?
It's kind of tough, man, because in the first 3 months, man, honeymoon stages. Like everything is like a fairy tale. It's something new. It's something fresh. It's something like you putting laundry in the wash machine. A person can be this today, and you have people that are, if you do zodiac, some are air signs. They here today, you can't keep them down. For them to be who they are, air has to float. Has to float. Some people are grounded. Some people have to be grounded and to be able to think and level up. Then you have fire signs. Then you have water signs. So for me,
water sign.
Yeah, so that's what you are. You a water sign?
Yeah, water sign.
Pisces,
Cancer,
and is it Aquarius?
That's one. I think it's Aquarius.
I can't remember. Sorry. So
you a fire sign, right? Yeah,
no,
Capricorn.
I'm grounded. I'm Earth.
Oh, okay.
I'm grounded.
Earth,
I'm
okay.
Capricorn. So Earth, Virgo.
The angry people.
Virgo. Ain't nobody angry. We grounded. That's what they say. Look, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorns are grounded. So anyway, like when you're in the honeymoon stages, everything is like what it is. It's a fairy tale. It's everything is just naturally perfect. It's like a high, a natural high without being high. So to find out who you living, like dealing with, if you ain't living with them, staying with them, like it's a lot of people that can be quiet, and even though they quiet out here in the world, like to live with them is a different story. Like people will say each like, hey, I get it, I understand. They not perfect or right, but their actions will say they're not perfect right. We still standing there. Still doesn't make it right, but it's still like, hey, it is what it is. You can't deal with that. So like you always get. It just depends on who people root for, how they do stuff. You may have families that they're not like doing it intentional or not genuine, but some situations you just don't fit. Like you just don't fit situations. Like, you may have a family who's trying to welcome you, want to bring you in, but you just don't fit it. You don't fit their puzzle. And it's okay. And it's not a bad thing. It's not saying that they don't want you there, but it affects a lot. So to marry somebody or know somebody like marry somebody 3 months could be one thing. Then month 4, you might say, oh no, this ain't it. Because like you get to see the real them. Like anybody that's high and happy going to show you high and happiness.
Right,
but when tough things get tough, when things become turmoil, when things become distraught, that's when the real love and the real fight of a marriage happens. When you are going through the worst. Not when you're happy, but when you go through the worst. Can you still stay there? Can you still stand? And some people say, I tried. Everybody's try is different. Some people may try 20 times. Some people may try 100 times. Some people may try 200 times. Like your try is different. You may say, I tried. Some people may try 2 times. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's definition of trying and fighting for a relationship is different. So it all depends on who you are and who that person is. And everybody can paint the picture. Because let's be real. Like when it comes to relationships, breakups, stuff like that, like everybody always talks about the worst of the situation. Nobody never talks about the conversation of like how y'all got together, what kindled y'all, what happened.
Right.
But when you broke up, you ain't this, you ain't that, you ain't that.
Right,
Blah, blah,
right,
you
right.
this, you that, you
It was
mean
hap-
everything, you
it was happening for
everything
years,
outside of that. And you may have years in.
Mm-hmm.
So if they were that like that the whole time, and you did it, and then you want to make up after you break up, you want to say after you break up an excuse situation like, hey, well, it won't this, it won't that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened the whole time. Man, please, we got to stop this nonsense. But you have people that believe it because people can manipulate things and say it in a way because they look at a person in a way. But at the end of the day, when people ain't living with you and dealing with you every day, 24/7, seeing you're good, you're bad, you're ugly, most people only see you when you're out in the public. Because I told somebody the other day, like I was talking to in a conversation, one of my boys, that's a 2-step personality. You have your business personality because even when you at your worst mentally drained, you have to go to work, your career. It needs you to be your best. You may don't even feel like going to work, dealing with nobody in the world, but that what takes care of you, the household, and the kids. But when you get home, you want to be able to say, okay, I can be myself. I think a lot of politicians, judges, sheriffs, mayors, they go out here, they have to put on this persona. I'm just being real. That don't mean they'll never get tired. It's just they have to put on this persona because on a level of like, you know, we have to do this because we're serving the people. So when you're in those positions, you're serving people. You come last when you serve people. People may call you at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock at night as a politician. You still serve the people. Your sleep comes last of that. So when you get home, you may not want to be bothered. And then the family may take the beating because of the position you in. And that's where you have to figure out the balance and the grounding of like how I'm going to make sure I'm not causing chaos at home as well as trying to make sure everybody's out there is pleased. And even if I'm making millions of dollars or $200,000, $300,000 a year, I still have people at home that need me to be my best self. But if I can't be my best self because I'm mentally drained from society, but society is what's paying me. Society would never like, they don't want to hear about your home stuff. They'll say, okay, cool. It's a prime example of rent and whatever. If you're paying rent, mortgage, whatever. Oh, I'm sorry, you feeling so tired today. What time that's going to be paid?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like stuff like that matters. Like it's all about the balance and the grounding of things, man. So you have to be able to balance out life. And people don't know how to balance out life. But that affects a lot of marriages, relationships, stuff like that people don't even look deeper into. Like relationships can work. Some things may be overboard. Some things may be manipulated. Some things may be over-exaggerated. Some things may be overthinking. And then people will be like, you know, like this may not work because of this. This may not work because of this. Some people just check out because they like to be free. And that's cool if you want to be free. That's cool. You know, you ain't under the death penalty. You can say yes, no, or whatever, like whatever it is. But don't make it out to where it's a blame game thing. Like people in relationships just don't work. Everything's not compatible. And that's cool. You know, at the end of the day, whether who right, who wrong, who did this, who did that, it don't matter. At the end of the day, it's about things happen and nobody's not going to mope or cry or weep and tear all the time because it didn't work. And if you expected somebody just to falter because things didn't work of a past situation, just because it didn't work, again, I'm going to say it again, just because it didn't work, just because whoever fault it was, whoever was wrong, whatever was done, things still go on and life still goes on. And nobody's not going to weep for the next 10, 20 years over something they're not going to never have or may not have potential of because you can't make nobody come and go. I'm sorry, that's it. Wrong mind, wrong thoughts.
That's good. That's good. That's what I was looking for. Like something like that. I'd have been in relationships or whateve, and I'd have been through different stuff, and I'd have heard, you know, some of my old, you know, girlfriends or whatever say the same thing. Like, you ain't, we ain't getting married. We talk. I mean, I know I said in the first episode, you know, I was in a long relationship for a long amount of time, but that's the part that you was talking about being able to sustain when the times get tough or we going through a rough patch or, you know, stuff happen along the lines. Like my man Brad said, you know, situations like when you ain't got it or you might lose your job. But I think all those situations are needed, like, to be seen. Like now, this generation of women coming up with all these different scenarios. And we can't live together till we get married. You know, I might be, you know.
And not only that, man, like when it comes to family, like you have family in it, and some people put family in there. They may say they don't put family in it. At the end of the day, it still comes on as this. Just being real, raw, from my mind's raw thoughts. Like, you could be the baby of the family, but you're not a baby. In life, male or female, we still have to be in a position to where, like, we got to put our britches up. Woman or female. It's not that we're going to disrespect the queens or women at all, because, like, queens are queens, you know, and women are women. Right. But it still work both ways. Just because they're the baby don't mean that sometimes they still got to put on their pants. They be the baby to you, but they're not a baby, period. And sometimes adults got to be adults, no matter if you're a male or a female. And you got to handle things a certain way. Not having everybody run to your rescue. Oh, somebody's hurt. Oh, so my God, I'm crying today. I'm doing this, do that. Man, shoot, me and cry too. I mean, me and cry a lot. But we don't get the break. No. We don't get the cry. We don't get a chance to do that.
Tough, so that's what we do.
And so we have to do that, and it's always a situation. Old man said something one day, years ago, said some cookout or something. And we're like, well, how do you win? He said, you can't win.
You can't win, baby.
He's like, it don't matter what you do. Like, it's always going to be wrong. So
you just wrong.
And that's why I think when men go into situations like they move on to the next one. Yeah, some men that just find the signs early, who have a detection, like a detector radar on them. They can see signs. Like, for me, like, I have an awareness on everything from the person, individual, the family. Like, I see stuff a lot. I put it out too early, and I shouldn't put out too early, but I already see a lot of stuff. So it's easy to, like, know what I'm dealing with. Yeah. But, like, you know, you see the signs early, you see everything, and then you have to deal with that and still be in the wrong. And it's still a bad thing. Not saying my situation, but I'm just saying just in general. Like, I see a lot of men go through a lot of stuff to where, like, they have to deal with a lot, have to fight a lot for stuff that's there. And every situation is always having somebody being biased about something. And they'll say they ain't biased, but their actions will show they're biased. Yeah. They won't be biased. And they'll come out and say, I'm not biased, but I just saw what you just did. You were biased. You know what I'm saying? So and there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it's cool. It's great. Whatever it goes, it goes. But the extra shenanigans, the extra drama that goes into that stuff, like, whatever way it goes, like, it's cool. But don't make this a blame thing or it's this that person. You have a track record of going through the same stuff over and over of decisions you made, and you still not making that person accountable, and you seeing it, and you still not telling them they're accountable for the dumb decisions they made or whatever decision they made, whether it's a situation dumb or not. It comes to a situation where, like, you gotta start checking you. Family gonna be family. Family always gonna protect you and stuff like that. I got plenty of family. They'll come to war for me and protect me, and I know that. And I've been confident in that because I know me. But I also know, like, things happen a certain way. I talked enough. Go ahead.
I ain't, like I said, with you know, with the family part of it, like, dealing with relationships, I try to, like, leave it separate. I don't really try to explain issues no more because issues in general, because if you explain the issues, then, like, say, you know, I go like, oh, this happened, that happened, or whatever, and I go tell, oh, my mama or whatever, this happened, and then she automatically gonna get a negative facade for you. But I ain't going nowhere, so there's no point in me even involving you in stuff like that, you know, with problems, because, you know, automatically, 9 times out of 10 or whatever, when stuff happens, you going back to whoever you was dealing with, so it ain't no point in involving nobody.
Right. And I think about that, man. I think about situations like when family get into it and it gets very disruptive. Now you have a choice, like, do I just side with family even if the situation is wrong? The situation is wrong, or do I side with family for what it is and just fill it out? Sometimes it's okay for things to be disastrous and it still could be healed. But it's up to the person. You also understand, like, people. You also got to understand your situation, like, what you like, what you don't like. And it's cool. But, you know, like, I mean, whatever happens, happens. But at the same time, I feel like this, even if the situation is chaotic and you go back to it, families will be kind of warm to it, but eventually it'll die out and it'll go away.
That's a fact.
And I'm strong on you fight fire with water.
Right.
You know,
I agree with that because, like I said, at the end of the day, it's about my happiness. It ain't about, you know, like I said, my father been happy. You know, my mother been happy. You know, family been happy with whatever they got going on. It's about my happiness. So at the end of the day, if I feel like, regardless of whatever, if she beat me across the head and I accept it, I mean, for real though, it's what it is. That's my choice. Right. If I, you know, like I said, that's what I'm happy with. Then that's what I'm happy with. But, you know, like I said, so you got to. I mean, I definitely don't agree with that whole part though. I mean, like I said, you could want the visually, like, look wise, yeah, she bad, whatever. Oh yeah, we vibing, of course. Like I said, the first couple months, you know, it's easy. You know, that's even in relationships, it's gonna be simple. We're gonna be smooth. It's so much that we ain't done together. We, you know, probably taking trips and doing stuff. But what happened down the line? Money, I can't take you out tonight, baby. I can't.
And they get used to that. Some women get used to that. Some are humbly like, we're cool with that. But then they may say, in that turn, you mean, you this, you that. I'm
Broke.
telling you straight up, like, it is what it is. It ain't
Brokey-
about being.
brokey.
It ain't about being mean. It ain't about being out the way, like. And then sometimes when it's a consistent pattern of that, it becomes a headache. So, like, you can be the richest person in the world, but cheating on a million women.
Yeah.
I mean, you can also be the poorest person in the world, being the most faithful one in the world.
Right.
And then that's the level of, like, they may have control then. Because, like, they making all the money, doing everything, you have to kind of, like, listen to them without them saying that you have to listen to them. They controlling you. But logically, from an action standpoint, spiritual standpoint, you already feel like it's being controlled.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to say, like, I'm controlling you, I'm doing this. It's shown, like, through action. Like, you don't have to, like, show it. You don't have to say it, excuse me. It's already through action. But go ahead before we wrap up this show, man, because...
Yeah, it was good, man. It was my question. I said, yeah, that was where I was at with it. I just feel like everything takes time. Whatever's for you is for you, whether it takes years. If y'all trying to work on it, I don't care if it take 15 years. If it take that time to be happy, then it is what it is. If it take a year, you know, blessing to those people, but I ain't out here chasing it. Like I said, if it happened, it happened. Happiness, like marriage happiness. When I speak on, like I was saying, I just don't see the whole 3-month thing or whatever. That was kind of crazy to me. But,
sure.
Because it's a different era.
Man, it is different.
Era,
Marriage is different, man. Marriage.
Life is different too, though. So
yeah,
it ain't just with that. Life as a whole is different. The stuff that we grew up on, the cultures, everything is different. Even like I was talking to this dude about hip hop. I'm a hip hop head. I was talking to him about hip hop and how back in the day it was like growing up, you would hear like the poor righteous teachers and KRS-One and what they was talking about as far as the violence and black people standing up for each other. And then you get to this era and you hear the little babies and the big babies and they ain't talking about them.
Man, but nah, I get it. So with that being said, man, anything else before we wrap up the show?
Nah, man.
Quick show for you guys today, man. Don't worry, tune in to more. It's gonna be more quick shows, give you enough time to look at it and listen. With that being said, from my minds, Raw Mind, Ryan, Prime, Melo, we out.